You're running your business on something you can't actually explain. Your team types questions into AI all day and trusts what comes back. But ask what's really happening inside, most people go quiet. So let's open the box. By the end, you'll know exactly when to trust it. The thing behind ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're all the same kind of tool. A large language model, or an LLM. In one line, it's a prediction engine for words. It was trained by reading an enormous slice of the internet. Books, articles, code, conversations. From all of that, it learned the patterns of how language fits together. Here's the part that matters the most. And almost nobody says it plainly. It is not a database you look things up in. It's a generator. It produces the most likely next stretch of text. That one distinction explains nearly everything your AI does, including the times it lets you down. So hold on to it. Picture the most powerful autocomplete you've ever seen. Your phone guesses your next word from the last couple. An LLM guesses the next word from everything it ever read. But autocomplete undersells it. To predict the next word across science, law, code, and casual chat, it had to build a genuinely rich sense of how the world gets described. So yes, it's a predictor, but a deep one. Here's the analogy to keep. It's a predictor, not a librarian. A librarian fetches you the exact page. A predictor writes the page it thinks is most likely to come next. Most of the time, those land in the same place. When they don't, that's where the trouble starts. So what's it actually doing when you hit enter? First, it breaks your prompt into tokens, little word fragments. Then it does one thing over and over. It predicts the next token, given everything so far. It picks a likely next token, adds it on, and predicts again and again, word by word, until the answer is complete. The loop is the whole engine. Underneath it really is just predicting the next word. But modern models added two things that changed the picture. The first, reasoning. Newer models can show they're working. They generate intermediate steps before the final answer. That's real, multi-step problem solving, not a one-shot blurt. The second, for code and maths, they're trained against what actually works. Does the code run? Does the answer check out? So they're pushed towards being right, not just sounding right. So it just predicts words is true at the bottom, but it's just guessing. That stopped being fair a while ago. Let's make it real. You ask your AI, what's our refund window? Watch what actually happens. If your refund policy was on your public website, the model probably saw it in training. It answers correctly. Great. But if it never saw your policy, it does not know what to say, so it doesn't say, I don't know. It predicts the most likely sounding answer, maybe 30 days, because that's what's common across the internet. And here's the trap. It sounds exactly as confident either way. So a team asking it to draft customer replies can get a fluent, wrong policy quoted straight to a customer. Not because the AI is broken, because it is doing its job, generating likely text, not retrieving your facts. The fix isn't trust it more, it's give it your facts. That's what grounding does. A deep dive for another day. Let's be honest about the limits, because that's how you use it safely. It has no built-in sense of true versus false. It optimizes for plausible. Plausible is usually true, but not always. The gap is what people call hallucination. It only knows what it was trained on, up to a cutoff date. Ask about last week and it'll cheerfully guess. And confidence is not accuracy. The tone is identical whether it's spot on or completely inventing. Reasoning models are better at catching themselves, but better isn't perfect. More working out reduces silly mistakes. It doesn't guarantee the truth. None of this makes AI useless. It makes it a brilliant drafting and thinking tool that needs a human check on anything that actually matters. So where should you lean on it and where should you slow down? Lean on it for the things where plausible is exactly what you want. Brainstorming, first drafts, summarizing text you gave it, explaining a concept, rewriting something in a friendlier tone. Always verify the things where wrong is expensive. Your specific facts and figures, anything legal, financial or medical, recent events, and any named citation or quote. Those are the classic invented ones. There's a simple rule underneath it. The more it costs you to be wrong, the harder you check. And whenever you can, give it the facts instead of hoping it memorized them. Paste them in, point it at your documents. You'll get a fluent answer built on your truth, not the internet's average. So, 3 things to remember. The first, an LLM predicts likely text. It's a generator, not a database. The second, it sounds confident whether it's right or wrong, so verify what matters. And the third, give it your facts, don't assume it already knows them. Get those, and the black box isn't a black box anymore. Next deep dive, why it makes things up, and how to stop it.